Hi, thanks for joining me today. My name's Erin, I'm with Smart Talent, and I'm here to talk to you today about employment gaps that might be on your resume and how to address those with your future employer. Whether that was due to taking time off to try something new, traveling, maybe you were taking care of a child or a parent, something that was a necessity for you to take time off, or perhaps you were let go from your previous job. How to address an employment gap can make or break whether you land your next position. So let's talk about a couple of things you can do to land that next job. First, let's go to the resume. It's a great place to start. If you're a person whose jobs can be measured in terms of years instead of months, that might take care of shorter employment gaps on your resume. If you ended a job in February of 2017 and then started a new position in November 2017, just putting the years in from start to end, the years in from end to start will alleviate some of those shorter gaps you might find. If you have a longer gap on your resume, there's a couple different things you can do. One, put a note in, say what you were doing. Stay-at-home mom, taking care of a sick parent, needing time off for personal reasons. Put that in, keep it professional, but most employers are human. They do understand that different circumstances do come up. Or, if you had time off, put on your resume what you were doing besides employment during that time off. Were you volunteering at the school PTA? Were you with your city? Any freelance or consulting work, something that you were doing, even if it's volunteer related, church related, community, civic, put on your resume other things that you've done that apply to career experience that perhaps you were doing during your employment gap. To accompany your resume, you might want to put in a cover letter that has an explanation of what was going on during your employment gap. Keep it professional, make sure that you can concisely explain what was going on and why you're now available and ready to get back into that job market. All right, you landed that interview, they got past your resume, you're now talking to that interviewer face to face. Now you need to explain your employment gap. Make sure that it's a clear answer, that it doesn't seem made up. Make sure you emphasize because of change in circumstance, child now in school, parent deceased, or moved to another state, that you're now ready and you are available and you're excited to get back into that job market. An employer wants to know that you're not going to have another need to take time off. They want a committed employee. So make sure that you convey that even though you had an employment gap on your resume, that that's not going to be a problem in the future because that situation has resolved itself. Perhaps the interviewer asks about your employment gap and the reason you're no longer at your last company is because you were let go. If you were laid off, let them know why. Financial, company changed, owners changed, differences. But if you were let go for performance, make sure that you're able to convey that the performance issues that were at that previous company are not going to be an issue at this company. And the reason why you're going to want to be able to articulate this, the last position wasn't a good fit because of XYZ. I've learned that, I've practiced that, or I know that this position is different and it accentuates my strengths, which are ABC, and I think that this would be an excellent fit for me as I look to make this career change. Make sure you stay positive, stay upbeat, you own what happened, learn from your mistakes, and that you're now going to be an excellent candidate for this new company. Make sure that you always talk positively about your past employer. Your interviewer is going to side with your past employer if you start speaking negatively about your past manager or the company you were at. They're going to think that you're going to speak negatively about them in a couple months once they hire you, and perhaps it's best that they not go down that route. So make sure, even if you did end on negative terms, that you speak positively about the experience you had, the management you were with, and your experiences at that company. Keep it short if you need to. Revert back to why you want to work for the company you're interviewing at and why you would be a good fit now. Just to summarize, your resume can be an excellent tool in explaining what was going on or skills you have built, while you were taking your employment gap, whether that's freelance work, consulting, volunteer work, civic, church. Put that on your resume. You can also use your cover letter to help explain in more detail what was going on and why that circumstance has changed. In person, make sure you stay positive. Make sure that you are relatable, giving a realistic reason as to what happened and to why you are now available and excited to work at that company. If you were let go from your last job, explain why this position will go differently and why you will be an asset to this company. Staffing companies are an excellent resource. If you're having trouble overcoming that employment gap, meet with a recruiter, talk to them about the skills you have and the direction you want to go. They'll be able to place you into different positions they have to get that experience back on your resume, close that gap, and start making connections with future employers. Smart Talent's an excellent resource for a full-service staffing company. If you're in the Puget Sound area in Washington, I'd love for you to say hello. Visit us online at smarttalent.net. And until next time, thanks for being with me.